I'm sorry.
And welcome to the 8th episode of Behind the Fleet podcast. And tonight I've got DJ Chaos with us. Tell us just a little bit about who you are, DJ Chaos.
All right, how you doing? What's going on, people? Behind the Fleet, DJ Chaos, Mass Fleet representative, Springfield, Mass native. Um, behind Chaos, father, husband, brother, uncle, and newly grandfather. Um, yeah. Thank you, my daughter. But newly grandfather. But just Chaos is just a all around guy. I grew up in the music area, in this music business with my father, watching my father, um, from times from him as a band member to music producer. So I had my behind the scenes staple of seeing certain things and being around a lot of people as a kid. Um, but at the same time living a regular normal life and not really knowing the difference. But beyond that, that's just a little snippet of DJ Chaos.
Okay, and how can these people find you on social media? I always like to tell them at the very top of our episode.
All right, so the best way to find me on social media is DJ Chaos. So DJ Chaos Chaoz 413 on all platforms. Facebook will actually be Brandon DJ Chaos 413. But every other platform you get me DJ Chaos 413. Um, I'm trying to think TikTok, Instagram, what's the new one? X. Well, it's not new, but Twitter. You name it. Just look up DJ Chaos 413 and you'll see me in Google. Google me. I'll
There
pop
you
up.
go.
Not a problem.
All right, so I can't wait to hop into this conversation because even in your intro, you already gave me some snippets of things that I kind of want to dive a little bit deeper into.
Hmm.
But let's start with the musical career of your father, since he was such a heavy influence on how you got into this industry yourself.
Yeah, so typically growing up as a little kid, my father he was at that time he was not a band member. He grew up as a band member, so he used to be a drummer,
Okay.
dealing in bands. And when I decided to come along in his life, that's when he actually spurred out into being a manager. He was a manager of two groups locally in this area, a female group and a male group. Back in the day when they had groups, R&B groups. We need to bring that back. Anybody watching, bring it back. But he was a manager of two groups, and some things actually happened. And during that time where he basically found out, the real end of the business. For him, the groups kind of separated on him, and he decided to take a different path, but he stayed in that pathway and started as managing to producing music, and he kept that focus going. So as he kept that focus going, as me as a kid, I just sat there and just soaked everything in. Being in different radio stations, being in different recording studios throughout the New York area, throughout the Massachusetts area, and even in the California area. At times, just meeting different people, different A&Rs, different producers, meeting different acts growing up as a kid. These people held me as a baby, which I didn't know who they were until I started seeing pictures. Um, so just watching my father, like I said, is just him being that producer and just an entrepreneur all my life. That's all I seen was just him working and doing that grind, wake up, sleep. He always told me early bird gets the worm. If you wake up later, somebody's gonna beat you to it. So if you want to get to that bag, you gotta get to it first. So I always took that with him, no matter. I always took that with me, no matter what he told me. I mean, like, oh, I gotta go get a car wash. Let me get up early in the morning, get it done because if I don't, somebody else is gonna be there. It's gonna be multiple people. So I took that and strove with it through everything.
Okay. So when you got into the industry, like, did you play any type of instruments in school, or did you go from being with your father and then getting behind the turntables?
All right, so everybody don't laugh. Uh, I came up in I came up and Miss Wells gonna laugh first. See y'all, see, but no, I came up in the Dare program type of era, you know. So at that time I was actually in the choir. Um, That's when
Okay.
I was able to sing a little bit. I can't sing no more. Don't smoke cigarettes. 6 years clean. But no, I grew up in the choir. So doing choir, from choiring to getting older to dibble dabbling into the rapping scene, I was a majority of an artist slash mini graphic artist as well for him. So my father had a company called Mass Line Entertainment, and then also 413 Productions. So he did video and he also do music. And at that time, I was just dibble dabbling and doing certain little graphics for him.
Okay.
Also, I was trying to be an artist for him. And for local artists that we have out here that are legends in the Springfield area that, hit certain plateaus, my father was able to work with. So I learned from them and then getting into it. So I started actually off as a regular artist before I became a DJ. DJing came a suit actually during my college time.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, I look at by the time I ended deciding, I went to college late, so I was a knucklehead in my time. But when I got my things together, I decided to go to school because that was the best way to try to be better for my kids. Was to make sure I had a strong head on my shoulders as much as possible. So it just actually plateaued as I always had love for music. I just didn't know where I wanted to be in music. Um,
Mm.
just watching him as a producer, that was like the biggest thing. It's like, okay, that's what he does. So from changing to the producer side, it was more of just like I said, going to school and talking to a counselor of mine who asked me if I ever did radio. And I told him no, I never did it before. From there, he actually gave me my radio spot where he said, all right, I'm gonna have you do radio. So I took off and I created I called it lockdown every Thursday. It was a lockdown. It was basically out here in my area. Thursday nights was a college night.
Okay.
And so I had a lockdown where I got everybody, I tried to get everybody on campus hype and ready to go out for college night at every club, get them right. And I did that for about 2 years. And that just by myself walking around and connecting with certain people, I end up bumping into a few people that own little bars here and there and end up doing little debuts there.
Okay. So when did you meet Fleet? Like when did Fleet come into your journey?
I'm new to Fleet, so I met Fleet last year in March. So I'm actually going on my 1 year, and
Okay.
in all honesty, I really don't know how I actually came across Fleet. It was like one of those like bumping things, and I think I was just seeing one thing, and I started reading up on them a little bit. I liked the direction that they was going. I liked what I was reading, and I just reached out. I'm one of them people is if you don't reach out to something, then you won't get it. Closed mouth don't get fed. So I just reached out just to get some information. I talked to a few people in the area at the time. It was DJ Iron Chef, DJ Rashid, and DJ P Money. And I talked to the gentleman in the conversation that we had. I was liking the conversation. I liked the steadiness and the focus point that they had in it. And therefore, from there, it just connected for both sides. Where I ended up becoming a member, and I've been a member ever since. And I'm gonna be a member for a while.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. So welcome to the family. You are one of the newbies for sure.
Yes, yes.
So how has the experience been thus far? Like talk just a little bit about some of the things that you've been able to do within a year of being a part of the organization.
Oh, just being in an organization itself. For one, is you look at we all do everything on our own. So we all have our own side hustles. As one DJ Chaos Entertainment is mine. So we have our own baby that we're actually nurturing and raising and doing what we gotta do. But as a brotherhood and a sisterhood and a big family, it just helped me out. So for the year of time of being together, I've for one brought in I brought in my family of more people to talk to, more people to lean on. If I have
Yeah.
questions on things, besides the people I have locally, I get to reach out, more ideas, more perspectives, more opportunities to learning things. Being a PD, a program director for Turn It Up Radio is one of the things that I was able to get out of Fleet. On top of being a PD, is as well as just more networking with more people of indie from all over the world, and just connecting. And at the same time, with that connection, I end up finding out through this short time certain people hearing my name in areas that I didn't even know it. And it wasn't for Fleet. It was just, hey, this person comes on doing a call and, say my name, and they got, I heard you before. And, it's just say, all right, great. Whatever I'm doing good.
So you mentioned something that a lot of people don't know, and that's just how many like conference calls, networking opportunities, and
Hmm.
ways that you can really get out here and be a part of Fleet, but really expand your own personal business and brand. Like, can
Yeah.
you talk just a little bit about the people that you've been able to connect with, whether it's in a different organization, somebody that's another producer in another state? Like, talk a little bit about how
Yeah.
that's helped the business.
You know, just with inside Fleet itself, I was able to end up connecting more with more industry minded people, more people that's connected, more managers that are connected with celebrity artists, also along with other celebrity artists, is able to actually conversate with other celebrity artists. It was able to put me in that bracket. Not in a sense of we're using the name. It's just for the work it's, that we stand on, and at the same time, my work showing it for itself as well. So it goes hand in hand, and they know that we're not, they know Fleet when we don't play games, about business here. We don't do that, nothing like that. And we're serious about when we say we're gonna get behind you. So I was able to connect with a few people, Trap Beckham, Soul Candy, TJ the DJ, just to name a few people. G Mims, just certain people that I'm able to actually speak to. I could reach out. They actually contact back, and it's not just like some random through a call. No, we actually build a connection, and then at the same time, you build more connection with other people in other areas where you can progress your business.
Absolutely. Like, I think that's been the most critical thing that I've taken from Fleet as long as I've been a member here is
Mhm.
how it's truly worldwide, and almost anywhere you go, you're going to be able to find somebody that's a part of this organization. And if they're not there yet, you will probably be the person that is able to bring someone in one of these new locations to
Correct.
continue to expand the business and brand. I think I think the other important piece that you mentioned is what you do independently on your own outside of Fleet. So can you talk just a little bit about your business itself when you separate DJ Chaos from Fleet DJs?
Yeah, so we're regardless of the fact, DJ Chaos is DJ Chaos, Fleet is Fleet, but at the same time, we're a unit. We're still together as one. But creating my business and an organization throughout itself is just creating a name for itself and doing everything we do. Um, Fleet is a platform that helps out as it's a connection. Fleet is a platform that has multiple resources that help you out. Fleet is an organization that can steer you in the right direction if you feel like you're going in the wrong direction, or if you've never been in that particular, you have somebody to talk to. So building on your own is the one thing is you can't have somebody else do something for you. You got to actually do the work to
Mhm.
make sure that work comes in for yourself. So that's the biggest thing. So the grind of me and DJ Chaos Entertainment is the networking itself outside of it, um, reaching out to people, trying to grab more business. People don't understand how hard it is to make sure, especially when you have multiple people in that same type of field, that people can hit like a Rolodex and, oh, I can go to this person, or I don't want to deal with this, let's deal with that. Um, but it becomes the area where Fleet helps out also on how to structure your business. We have certain people that's within the family that can help out to get you in a better structure. Your structure might be at one point where you feel comfortable, but they can help you on a better place where it looks better. Better it's presented better. All honesty, I never had an EPK before until I came into Fleet. Like, oh, I need one of those. And that's just the connections I made with the guys from DigiWax, which
Yeah.
is how we end up making connections through Fleet itself. And just talking with some of them guys out there that's been in the industry for a long period of time of things that we do need. So, you end up finding out certain things. You could do things on your own, but certain things that you don't know, and if nobody's there to actually tell you, or you end up finding out a little bit too late, it kind of gives you a head start and helps you out a little bit better, especially with
Yeah.
these guys.
So do you just do DJing, or are you similar to your father where you do production and videography, or is it just like in that entertainment piece?
At the moment, it's majority DJing. Production, I'm working my way into that slowly. Also, I'm actually the manager of I'm one of the managers of Mass Fleet Division of Graphic Design. So I do a lot of graphics, as this is one of them as well. So I do a lot of flyers for the Twitch people. I do emotes. Um, so I do a lot of different type of things, and still progressing and learning in that field as well. Self-taught. Um, or let me change that. YouTube taught. Um, but in all reality, it's just teaching other aspects and other ways to actually make revenue when one is not making it at that time.
Man, that's a whole excuse me, that's a whole conversation that we can go into in itself, where there's
Hmm.
so many different revenues that you start to realize are available for you to maximize on. Because a lot of the
Hmm.
times people think like DJ is just getting up and breaking a track, but you can do so much more for an artist, a producer, a manager versus just getting that track and breaking it.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So, talk a little bit about what Massachusetts has going on right now. Like, what is the Mass Fleet DJs up to? What do they have going on in the works?
Uh, we getting ready for we getting ready for July. Um,
Tell
that
these
that's
people
what
what's coming up in July, just in
you
case they
know.
don't.
The 13th annual Fleet DJ conference. If you don't know, you better know. If you don't got your tickets, you better get your tickets now. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it because I actually have to have an um,
Okay.
engagement gig I have to actually do around that same time. But beyond that, it's a basically one of our biggest networks of networking with industry like-minded people, for models, photographers, producers, DJs, artists, you name it, it's gonna be there. If you're looking for the guy with the bean pie, he on the corner. But we're gonna be there and we're gonna do what we gotta do. But for Mass Fleet, it's just at the same time we're just getting things together. We're making sure the family's good. We're doing organizations, and we're just trying to make sure that we represent Massachusetts the way we can. We got different people from all over, from Springfield, Worcester, uh, we got Rhode Island and part of it, and we still hang with our people from the Connecticut sector and New York sector. But for the Mass side, we're just trying to make sure that we're doing good. We're kind of new to the family as well, so we're building.
So, if there's people out there that are in the area, or they're just like, man, I need to get some stuff going up in Mass, like, how do they get in contact with you all to be able to do an artist spotlight or even
Oh,
get their tracks to you?
you can definitely hit us on Instagram at Mass Fleet DJs. You can hit me on Instagram, and I'll make sure that we connect through. I'm actually one of the hosts for Artist Spotlights as well, so you can really get in contact with me, DJ Chaoz 413, with a Z, not a S. Um, and the things is for the Massachusetts area, you definitely want to come to Massachusetts area. Massachusetts area is a big thing, from the Boston sector to even the small towns. Small towns, you want to hit the small towns because small towns is going to show you a lot of love. Um, hit the Springfield area if you're down. If you've never been, you need to get out here. Hit me up before you come, and let's make something work. That's the biggest thing. My slogan is "Let's work."
Ooh, that's a good one. DJ Chaos, hashtag let's
Let's
work.
work.
That's powerful. So DJ Cass, like I know that we went a couple of different ways in this conversation, but I always like to make sure that we also leave the viewers with like some nuggets of information on how they can be either a better artist, producer, DJ, if that's something that they're interested in getting involved in. Like, what is a gem or a really good piece of advice that you've heard along your career that you've kept with you throughout this whole journey?
Consistency,
Ooh, that's a good one.
be comfortable on being uncomfortable.
Ooh.
Those are the two that I always take with me because consistency is always the key. As long as you're consistent with something, eventually it'll work out for you. You just gotta have the love for it. No one can push you harder than yourself. You can have people that can be behind you, but if you're not pushing and they don't see the drive in you, then they won't push as hard as you. So, and the other thing is make sure that you're not putting yourself in a comfort zone because in the comfort zone, it's self-explanatory. You're comfortable now. When you're
Mm.
uncomfortable is when you want to go to a higher perspective. I'm comfortable if I make it to one level, that's cool. But once I get there, now I'm uncomfortable because I'm trying to make it to the next one. Things are not easy; they get harder.
Ooh, all spot on. Like, I could keep going, and I know we still
Mhm.
got a couple more minutes, but I do have a couple more questions that I want to make sure that we get out so these
Sure.
viewers have the opportunity to just really know a little bit more about you. Like, in this business, a lot of the times people only talk about the wins or the successes, but I
Hmm.
think it's also important for us to talk just a little bit about some of the obstacles and hurdles that you've had to overcome in the journey to get to where you are right now. Like, has there ever been a moment where you're like, I'm not DJing no more. I'm done with it. I'm moving on to something different? Or have you always had this passion and continue to drive forward through it?
Always had the love for it, but there's always a time where you sit there and say, "Is it worth it?" Actually, one of my brothers said, "Is it worth the squeeze?" So they say, and in that aspect, it's really true because you look at the biggest thing is the same thing as I was saying before is being comfortable of being uncomfortable. The uncomfortable spot is knowing that you might have a bad night. As a singer, as a rapper, you might go on stage and you might kill the last 5 shows, but this show you didn't. They booed you. Okay, take it and run with it. If you got a video of it nowadays, everybody records everything. Watch that video, see what you did wrong. If you remember what you did wrong, fix that. Same thing when it goes for DJs. DJs go in, you might have a phenomenal whole month, and then that next month you have a crappy month, or you messed up on a set. You go there and don't give up, just fix what you did before. That's the biggest thing ever. So I done had my ups and downs. You look at, you might not have the for certain clients, you might not have what they're looking for. So you missed out on that because now since you don't have it, they want to look for somebody else. So you missed out on that money, which will go from if there's wins and then there's losses. Sometimes you might be making X amount of dollars these times, and then all of a sudden you're not making those dollars. The thing is when you're not making those dollars, are you going to sit there and say, all right, I'm done with it, or I need to figure out how to make the dollars keep coming in? And that's the biggest thing is as I we spin the block and go right back to knowing how to find other ways of making revenue when the other revenue is not helping. Try to
Ooh.
find a balance.
Like, you gave so many gems, and if don't nobody take nothing from this conversation, I know what I have personally taken is the fact, like, you just gotta make it make sense. You keep
Hmm.
trying things, keep putting this together with that, keep networking, and like you said, eventually it'll start coming together, and you'll see the traction that you want, especially when you join organizations like Fleet DJs. They give you all these other people that can help you along that journey.
That's true. They give a lot. They'll put it out there. It's at the end of the day, we go back to that old saying: you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. So in all reality, especially inside this family of Fleet, it's basically that same aspect. I can give you this. I can put this in front of you. You can ask the question, and then I give you the guidance of where you can find it. The thing is, it's up to you after that. And I always say it every day. I say it in um, every chat room that we're in. And one of my messages is always, whatever you didn't do yesterday, make sure you continue it today. Um,
Mm.
at the same time, whatever you look at where you didn't have the answer for that, reach out. Everybody, some people like to play gatekeeper, but you can find another person. Just keep trying harder. That's the biggest
That's
thing. My
awesome.
goals is everything is to make sure I do whatever I can for my family. That's the real drive for what I do, is trying to give them a better life than what I had,
Oh, I
if I
love it.
can.
So what's next? Like, what is your plans with Fleet, and what is your plans for yourself for 2024 and beyond?
Next, outside. 2023, I really wasn't outside that much. So 2024, my plans is to be outside more. 2024 also is to have Turn It Up Radio, start getting some nominations, try to make it better than what it is. So, we take off, put some more DJs on it, program more, learn more. The brain is the biggest muscle ever. So the biggest thing is learn more with whatever you can learn, and keep moving from there. Um, the other thing is too is capitalize on revenue, and not say no this year. I said no a lot last year, so it's time to say yes.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, DJ Chaos, again, I appreciate you coming on this evening and
Thank
giving
you
us
for
a
having me.
on who you are. But please make sure you remind these people again how they can get in contact with you and how they can also connect with the Mass Fleet DJs if they are wanting to get their records broken or find some collaboration opportunities with you all.
So definitely Instagram, DJ Chaos with a Z 413. You can get Mass Fleet DJs also on Instagram, Mass Fleet DJs. Um, if you can't, you can reach me my email, fleetdjs at chaos, fleetdjschaos at gmail.com, or catch me on my website, www.djchaos413entertainment.com.
Oh, I love it. Well, you all know how we always wrap these episodes up. Until next time, when we kick off episode 9 of the Behind the Fleet podcast, follow me on Instagram at It's Just Miss Wells. Tap in with DJ Chaos at DJ Chaos 413, and make sure that you also go in and connect with the Mass Fleet DJs because there's a lot of opportunities there. But
You know
until
what we
next
say? Let's work.
at less work. But until next episode, you all, we are out of here.
Appreciate you.